Hey guys, this is Andrew Wright with another Review the Right Thing. How is everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about my first comparison video. I've oftentimes done this with CDs, original versus remaster, and then also when I started making the transition from DVD to Blu-ray, but I've never actually pit two Blu-rays against each other, so I was actually able to do that, and now I'm going to tell you what I think about both of them. I'm going to be talking to you tonight about Kill Baby Kill, an old 1966 gothic horror movie from Mario Bava. I really love the gothic horror from this time period, especially from the maestro Mario Bava. There's a level of cheese that should be ignored when this movie was released, but for the most part, I feel these movies hold a higher artistic value than what mainstream audiences find important. Things were different, and our level of exposure to certain things was less. Atmosphere and music are chilling, yet beautiful. Acting is usually good, but since these movies have largely been dubbed over, they come off as cheesier than they should. Sometimes voice acting was strong, but other times it feeds into that level of absurdity. There was a time when this movie was something different from what filmmakers were coming out with. Largely considered to be the first giallo, this movie uses colors in ways that were not being used in cinema at the time. Bava employed techniques that his father learned while being a cinematographer in film. This movie was shot by Antonio Rinaldi, who he used with two earlier features and several following afterwards. This first release is brought to us courtesy of Kino Lorber Films. The Blu-ray is an MPEG 4 AVC encoded 1080p Blu-ray. The image was sourced from a 2K scan. Kino's Blu-ray is an obvious upgrade over the previous DVD releases. There are obvious constraints a DVD has due to standard definition and lack of space. Even so, this Blu-ray does not boast as strong of a transfer as other releases I've seen from this time. For example, Kino's release of Black Sabbath I felt had a much better looking picture. The image is somewhat dark and still seems to contain a fair amount of damage and debris. Skin tones seem natural, but close-ups don't show any refined detail in facial textures. Additionally, colors look muted in landscapes and buildings, almost has more of an orangish hue, and even so, none of this is distracting, and I still stated before that this is still an upgrade over the previous release. The audio has been given an added boost and has a pleasing mix of score, dialogue, and effects, like wind, slamming doors, and creaky sounds. There does seem to be a slight tape hiss present in the track. Maybe it was just my ears, but I didn't hear it on the Arrow release. Regardless, the sound was never too distracting. Special features include an audio commentary with Tim Lucas, author of All the Colors of the Dark, a book about Mario Bava and the importance of his films. I did not listen to the whole audio track, but one of the first things he mentions was the score being a collection of many library tracks from various composers, and could not be solely attributed to Carlo Rustichelli. Next is Kill Bava Kill, a feature that was an interview with Lamberto Bava, son of the late director. In this, he talks about his family's history in the business and began with his grandfather, who was a renowned cinematographer. He also discusses his family's fascination with the supernatural and its use in their films. We are also given an international trailer of the film. A German opening sequence is also present. This sequence differs from the woman's impaled body and cuts to a little girl, Melissa, bouncing a ball, which kind of gives some of the plot away before you even would have been exposed to the truths with the original opening. Following this is an interview with Erica Blanc titled Erica in Fear. In this feature, Erica discusses shooting Kill Baby Kill and working with Mario Bava. Her expectations were that she would be on a set of a B movie, but was really surprised by the professionalism and talent of all the crew. The last three features on the disc are 3 TV spots from America that are basically just your typical, if you watch this film, you may suffer from insanity. If this happens, you know we have trained professionals to treat you. They're pretty funny for a single watch, but they're definitely a marketing difference between today and back then, so kind of interesting. On to the Arrow release, I have to say that they really took a little more time to get the print cleaned up. We have an even further upshift in clarity and detail. The picture is a tad brighter, which to my eyes allow for colors to pop more and seem more natural. Landscapes have more depth, and detail and facial textures on close-ups are more refined. Skin tones look a tad more natural, which are all possible bonuses from the restoration this release was given. The audio on this release states that it's from a lossless audio track. It doesn't sound much different from the Kino release, however, I didn't notice the tape hiss at all. Special features are similar. In addition to what's featured on the Kino release, this one also includes Devil's Daughter feature from Kat Ellinger, in which she discusses how the film was ahead of its time and its influence on movies today. Think of Guillermo del Toro and his stylized film Crimson Peak. Also included on this release that's not on the Kino is a short film titled Yellow. This short film was inspired by everything Bava. It involves a couple playing chess on a stormy night. This short quickly goes from gothic with the music and lighting to a glove-knife giallo with its flamboyant synth music. The last two editions in this release are a photo comic, which is a whole movie with panels and text like a comic book, and an image gallery of lobby cards that were made for the time for the release. I think both versions are very good, with the arrow being a bit better all around. The arrow states that it is region B locked, however it is region free. I played it first in my region free player, then I tried it in my 4K player and it played just fine. I love both companies and have several releases from both companies. However, Arrow sent the print out to be cleaned up and the results are great. Kino even released theirs later, so it would have been nice to see them try to acquire the same master Arrow used. So what did you guys think? Have you picked up either of these releases? Did you compare any of them? Have you actually compared any other releases for other films? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, there's a link up top to subscribe, and you can listen to more Review the Right Thing. Thanks again.